All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. And the video I wanted to make this on was just to quickly show how to add hydraulic fluid to a Meyer's E-47 hydraulic pump, or the ram, or whatever you call it. I don't know the technical name, but hydraulic pump lifting arm. I just wanted to show quickly how to add hydraulic fluid to it, because when I got this plow, I didn't know for sure, and the manual doesn't really say the best direction, so I just want to make a quick little video on it. But first thing you're going to want to do is drop the plow. Focus. So drop the plow here, and then I'll keep it in a lowered position, and we'll go up to it quick and push it down all the rest of the way, like that. Oh, well, you can see that. But this top nut, that's going to be like the one that relieves the pressure from it before you take the bigger one out, so you can add fluid. Model E-47. All right, well, yeah, trying to avoid looking at the solenoids that are leaking very badly. Pretend I didn't see that, and add some fluid for now. And yeah, I'll pick the camera back up once I got the wrench and stuff. All right, well, it's dark now, but I'm still gonna add this hydraulic fluid. Got sidetracked with some other stuff. This is the actual brand name hydraulic fluid. Focus. For the Meyer E-47. If I remember correctly, this stuff was very expensive when I bought it from Napa. So I got some from my grandpa. He has like a 55-gallon barrel full of some sort of miscellaneous fluid. I think it's hydraulic fluid anyways. So this isn't gonna actually be blue. The stuff that comes out of this bottle typically is blue. But I also just want to show quickly, this is the little thing that I made to check the level of it after you add it. Stupid phone would focus. All right, anyways, well, you get the idea. It's just a zip tie that I cut off and put a mark at, let me see here, 36 millimeters, so 36.6, but can't remember if that's right. So yeah, spend a minute finding the page in my manual here that I knew I had written down the correct distance, I guess you would call it, from the bottom of that filler hole where you add the fluid. And then I was trying to show with that caliper at first. But so you just take and if you look at what the manual says, 1.5 inches below the filler hole, or 38.1 millimeters for you metric folks. You can just take, I just literally took a zip tie, and then you can just hold it up to a tape measure, 1.5 inches, and yeah, that's your dipstick. So then if this would be, say that this is your filler hole, this would say that this is where the nut would thread into and sit flush here. If this is like, excuse me, if this is the bottom of the filler hole where that fluid would go, or like where you would stick your funnel, you want it to be 1.5 inches below, to my knowledge anyways. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. This is how I've been doing it anyways. You want it to be 1.5 inches below that bottom of that filler hole. So if that makes any sense. But so that nut would be up here, the 7/16 and the 5/8 nut for the filler hole, or plug I should say. And then yeah, that would be that area of threaded portion of the actual, like, of the pump housing. And then below is in the reservoir where the pump fluid or the hydraulic fluid would actually be sitting. So but yeah, I just wanted to mention that, make a little more sense hopefully. So all right, hopefully you can see this well enough, but this this top one here, that's going to be the 7/16. You're going to want to back that one out first. And if there's pressure in this, it'd be a good idea to do that slowly, but it's been sitting for so long now since I first took that beginning of this video that there shouldn't be any pressure in it. So here we go. So this is just that top one. Oh, don't round it off like that if you can avoid it. You can take that. I don't think you have to take it all the way out, but after you get it, make sure there's no pressure in it, then you can thread it back in a little bit. And you can take your 5/8 wrench and loosen this guy. If I can do this without hitting the phone. There we go. Probably blocked it with my hands, but they don't make this nut something with much room. You can't really get a socket on it either. Wow, have I rounded that thing off. There we go. Pretty sure my hands have gotten frostbite about 10 times by now. Look at this. That's lovely. Okay, now we got that open so we can take our funnel. Try and hold it on there. I don't think I need to show too much of this once I get it. I think most people know how to use a funnel, but just add it nice and slow and try your best not to make a big mess. Add a bit there. And grab our little homemade dipstick here. And stick that guy down. And there we go. You can see we got fluid up to right about there. It's hard to show on camera, but so call that good for now. If you suspect you might be leaking, or if you think it might be low, more low than typical, than it should be, a good idea would be to put the bolt back in, and that relief nut, raise the plow up, move it back left and right, up and down quite a bit, and then wait for a minute, or just slowly release that top nut, and then you can add more fluid if it needs more, because some of it sometimes gets sucked down into those cylinders down there, the angle cylinders. So but now my hands are all covered in goober, so let's try and get this bolt back in here. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Either I need a really thin socket, or they should have just designed this better, or I'm just dumb. Probably that one, but. Alright, my hands are covered in hydraulic fluid like always, but that's really all there is to that. So there's that pump again. All kind of paint's all chewed up, but yeah. And like I said, I don't recommend using random hydraulic fluid if you can afford it, or avoid it, just because if you care a lot about the pump, you should probably use what it it calls for. So all right, here's that part, I'm assuming part number for that fluid that I used when it's the actual fluid. So yeah, replaces Meyer, blah blah blah, all those other plows too. But yeah, like I said, if you can afford that stuff, use that stuff, because it's designed for cold temps and oh, sorry, I got my headlight on. If you can use that stuff, because it's designed for very cold temperatures and it's meant for snow plows, and it's probably the right viscosity. So, but otherwise, like I said, hopefully this helps someone. So thanks for watching. All right, I pulled out the specs for the E-47 out of this manual that I printed out that is barely holding together, hanging on for dear life. Here's the total capacities for whatever for hydraulic fluid on the E-47 and E-57. 1 quart, 12 ounces, 44 ounces total. A quart is 32 fluid ounces, in case you need to know that. Let's see if I can get a better look at this at all.